Blaze Media investigative journalist Steve Baker says Justice Department will be charging him for his January 6th reporting in a tweet he just recently put out saying, "Breaking, my attorney has been notified by the FBI that I'm going to be charged by the Justice Department for my journalistic efforts on January 6th. I have to surrender on Tuesday. Charges are yet known. Stay tuned for that information. Follow this afternoon." And the detail says that Baker on Thursday told Blaze Media that the FBI agent Craig Noyes contacted his attorney in North Carolina, and he still doesn't know what the freaking charges are and won't know until the judge signs off on the warrant. So he's going to be charged. Just another reminder that if you're not a part of the elite squad, the elite establishment, and you decide to be an independent reporter, they don't consider you a reporter. They don't want people like this man here to investigate things. That's not your job. The job of the media and the billionaire establishment is to control the narrative. It's not actually to get to the bottom. When's the last time you saw a real good investigative journalism story? You remember the good old days when they used to investigate stuff or figure out stuff for you or give you actual information rather than just being YouTube commentators like all the rest of us that have normal jobs? These people are so mad at somebody like a Steve Baker. People are like, what journalistic opera? Who do you work for exactly? I mean, does anybody even know what the Blaze is? I think the most depressing thing, too, is that Steve Baker put this tweet out, and some of the comments underneath are just disgusting. And, and some of these people are the same people that will be like, we live in a democracy, okay? We're all about freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Donald Trump wants to get rid of the press, not us. They always tell you what they are and what they're doing as they claim you're doing that. It's amazing that some of these liberals, leftists, these good little tankies, as I like to call them, because that's exactly what they are. They don't care about freedom of the press. They don't care. They don't praise this man for getting, video and interviews with January 6 people. They want you to shut up. You're a part of the problem. How dare you go in and be a part of a historic moment like this and get actual footage and interviews with people that are there? Why would they want that? Then you have an opportunity to change the narrative that is already set for us by the good directors of NBC and our politicians that can lead the narrative by only selectively showing a few clips. I think this guy is the most depressing. Jack Hopkins. Steve, lawyer up, cowboy. Something tells me your journalistic efforts BS isn't going to hold up in court. You participated in an insurrection by your own admission. You were inside the Capitol. Exactly. So going inside of the Capitol apparently is insurrection. But again, if you are a leftist and you're doing that to protest, abortion rights, or something else, that is different. That's part, or ceasefire, what's going on right now. If you're doing that, that's different. But January 6th is very serious. Again, the worst day in American history was January 6th. It wasn't Pearl Harbor. It wasn't like 9/11. It was January 6th. They tried to overthrow the government. A bunch of Second Amendment right-wing nut jobs all forgot to bring their guns all at the same time for the revolution. It's like they give you a cup of coffee and they're like, by the way, that's milk. And you're like, it literally looks black. It's black and it tastes like coffee. No, it's milk. Say it's milk. We're doing a struggle session right now over milk versus coffee. This is definitely coffee. And look, here's another one. Are you actively employed as an earning income as a journalist? Yes. You would think some of these left-wingers would be excited about somebody, that's investigating, that's there on the scene, because a lot of these CNN journalists, Fox News journalists refuse to do investigative journalism. They rather just comment on what The View is saying today or what kind of madness has come out of AOC's mouth. Do you hear what AOC said this time? I think this is really depressing to me, reading about this story about Steve Baker. because we need more information. We need more truth. We need more conversation. We need more different points of views so we can actually get down to the truth. I personally do not listen to only right-wing crap. I don't only listen to left-wing crap. I want to listen to both of the crap so I can figure out which is stinkier. You know what I mean? Like I want to hear from both sides because I don't want to get wrapped up in my own bubble, and neither should you. And so we need more people like investigative journalists because these are the type of people that cut through the narrative. It's not the people that are just sitting on their couch and saying, "What do you think about this?" Let's watch this clip. What do you think about this? We need more of this. It's ridiculous that people aren't all backing this. And the saddest thing also is I scoured the internet for different, news publications to talk about an investigative journalist who you would think they would all be for, like Assange. They aren't. They don't care about their own. They don't care about the freedom of press. They care about their voice and looking good, and they want to have their own show on MSNBC or whatever, you fill in the blank. That's what they care more about. It's not about getting down to the bottom of the truth, and I'm here to lecture you. Anyway, it's just another reminder, okay? Another reminder that what you see on the news isn't necessarily the news. It's well articulated, well put together in order to form a narrative, because it's more important to be on point when it comes to narrative than it is to actually give you the news. That's what you should be very afraid of when you're watching the news and you start to see them skip over stories because it doesn't make their person look good. And I say that for both sides. It's not just like a one-sided thing. You see it on, you see it on the right when Donald Trump does something silly. It's like, oh, let's pretend like that doesn't happen. You see it on the left when Joe Biden says something insane and he looks like he needs to just drop out of the race. But yet I want him to run because it would be amazing to run against a dead mentally. Okay, whatever. They don't acknowledge it when Joe Biden does. Remember, it's a speech impediment. It's not that he's losing his mind. Okay, so it's important to just see through the BS. And again, and what the hardest part about that is that it's harder to create an audience for people that enjoy cutting through the BS. A lot of the Americans, a lot of us sheep, would rather just have our narrative fed to us because it's easily digestible and doesn't allow us to actually think than to be told the truth. That was a lot. I apologize. Just another reminder that people like Jack Hopkins, who's a badass gay rights, U.S. Navy, abortion rights, stand with Israel, I support Biden, former Republican, LOL. Oh, I love that grift. I used to be a Republican, and now that I'm not. This kind of people are the people that hate the press. They would rather just be in power. What an amazing tanky. The word of the day is aplomb. Aplomb. Try to use aplomb wherever you can today. Aplomb means to complete and confident composure or self-assurance. You know who is not? Know who it is? Aplomb? Jack Hopkins. He thinks he's all full of it. Lawyer up, idiot. God. Let's use aplomb in a sentence. On the first day as a teacher, June handed herself with aplomb, keeping the class engaged and focused. Great job, June. And on this day in history, premiere of Gone with the Wind, a classic story starring Vivien Leigh and Clark Gable. The film Gone with the Wind, a romantic tale of the American South during the Civil War, aka MAGA white supremacy, adapted from the 1963 novel Margaret Mitchell, premiered in the day Atlanta, Georgia. You know what, guys? Just another reminder that what you watch on the news, in even some podcasts, it's creeping in the podcast lately, and it's disgusting to see because podcast is supposed to be just honest conversation. But because there's so much money in podcasting now, you have to be wary of who you actually listen to. It's really sad to see this, because we need more people telling the truth. We need more conversation. We need more people figuring out what's really getting down to the bottom of stuff, rather than just being force-fed our steady cereal diet. Instead, we could be eating eggs and bacon. Have a wonderful day, and as always, eat your eggs and bacon here. This is the Derek O'Shea Show. Share this with your friends and family. Drop a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Put a lot of work in this. Have a wonderful day.